Sovereign Elizabeth II's demise, who succeeds her, and now what is the plan? England faces up to the deficiency of the main ruler many individuals have at any point known. Fresh insight about the demise of Sovereign Elizabeth II has captivated a significant part of the UK, with PACs gathering in London to stamp the death of the main ruler. A considerable lot of them have known. Her well-being had been in decline for certain months, and when specialists chose to put her under clinical watch at her late spring home in Scotland, many individuals in England dreaded the more regrettable for their kid sovereign. What happens now that the Queen has died? Sovereign Elizabeth's oldest child is presently ruler Charles III, playing a job for which he has been planning for quite a bit of his life. Presently 73 years of age, he consequently becomes Lord on his mom's passing, with a crowning ordinance to follow, possibly a few months away. The reason for Elizabeth's demise stays a highly controversial subject. Before her passing, Elizabeth denied consent for a posthumous to be led, leaving the reason for her demise perpetually covered in secret. There are nonetheless a couple of speculations. 1. Some say that she might have passed on from blood harming, welcomed on by her utilization of a toxic cosmetics known as Venetian ceruse or the spirits of Saturn. This substance was delegated a toxin 31 years after Elizabeth's demise. 2. Other proposed reasons for death incorporate pneumonia, streptococcus-contaminated tonsils, or malignant growth. 3. Near the hour of her passing, Elizabeth's crowning ordinance ring had developed into her tissue. This was because of the way that she never had it taken out during the 45 years of her rule. Her PCPs demanded that the ring must be taken out, and in the span of 7 days Elizabeth passed on. Elizabeth I kicked the bucket in Richmond Castle. At the hour of her demise she was accounted for to have a full inch of cosmetics all over. By this point, she had lost the vast majority of her teeth, in dirt balding, wouldn't be taken care of and washed. G.J. Meyer depicts her as an unfortunate scene, even more so on the grounds that all through her rule she has been vain to the mark of whimsicalness. The Tudors, the total story of Britain's most famous line. Antiquarians accept this assertion as fanciful. The sovereign's woman of the bedchamber would not permit Elizabeth's body to be dependent upon a posthumous. Some contend that this was a method for defending the sovereign's standing as a virgin. Towards the finish of her life, Elizabeth started to experience the ill effects of episodes of despairing following the passings of a few of her nearby partners, remembering her long-serving woman for holding up Catherine Howard and previous one, Robert Devereux, Lord of Essex. During her last days, Elizabeth communicated lament about requesting the execution of her cousin, Mary Sovereign of Scots. Sir Robert Carey recorded that Elizabeth shed numerous tears and murmurs, showing her honesty that she never gave a greeting. Elizabeth's preserved body was monitored in Whitehall royal residence for a very long time prior to being let go in a sumptuous memorial service function on April 28, 1603. Thousands ended up watching the memorial service function parade through London. Numerous epitaphs composed right now notice the names of those in the parade, which was said to incorporate the most modest individuals from the illustrious family, counting the producer of flavor packs, wine watchmen, and scullery housekeepers. At the memorial service, a model of Elizabeth I was put on top of her lead casket. Wearing regal robes, the likeness was exact to such an extent that it made grievers heave. Elizabeth I is covered in Westminster Nunnery. Her body was first positioned in the vault of her granddad ruler Henry VII. Anyway, in 1606 Elizabeth's casket was moved to the Henry VII House of Prayer in Westminster Nunnery, and put underneath a landmark to her raised by ruler James I. A landmark to Mary, Sovereign of Scots, stands nearby. Elizabeth's casket is in a similar vault as her stepsister, Mary I. The Latin engraving at the foundation of the burial chamber peruses, accomplices in lofty position engrave, "Here we rest Elizabeth and Mary, sisters in anticipation of the revival."